Attacks that employ a variety of malicious programs like phishing attacks and spam remain the cyber threats most frequently encountered by companies. Now, that's according to Kaspersky Labs. At the same time, the volume of malicious attacks and spam has increased substantially in 2013 compared to 2012. Now, with me in studio to discuss this and other online threats most commonly faced by companies is Riaan Badenhorst, MD of Kaspersky Lab Africa. And this comes on the back of a release that you made mention of the fact that a lot of the malware as well as phishing in 2013 rose slightly, but it seems as though South Africa is in line with its international counterparts, where about 64% of South African respondents to the survey mentioned that they have been attacked by such phishing activities, and about 66% internationally. So for the moment, we're in the global trend.
Yes, Gugu, definitely. As far as those statistics goes, South Africa is definitely in line with the global trends, but I think still a very scary statistic to think that pretty much 2/3 of all organizations out there have been part of some or the other kind of cyber attack over the past 12 months.
When you say 2/3, it brings it to reality that it's quite a huge number. What are we not doing right to minimize that number?
That's a very, very good question, not so easy to answer. I don't necessarily think it's just us not doing something right, organizations out there not doing something right. It's more a case of cyber attacks becoming a multi-billion-dollar per annum business. So even though we are doing our best to protect ourselves and organizations are doing their best to protect themselves, the cyber threats out there are ever increasing.
But I'm sure as Kaspersky, you no doubt working on formulas as well as other protective measures in order to curb this prevalence. Any new developments that we can expect from you in order to help see a decline in the number of phishing as well as malware that we see in the industry?
Definitely, Gugu. What we found is antivirus software in its pure sense is not enough anymore. So people need to start investing in patch management solutions, some form of proactive protection of their network, including perimeter defense. So focused on this at Kaspersky Lab, we're definitely looking at increasing our offering to ensure that we can help organizations better protect themselves against the ever-changing and ever-increasing threats out there.
You mentioned software as well as parameter controls. Just how costly an exercise can this be?
It's actually one of those questions where you can almost ask how long is a piece of rope or a piece of string. You know, at worst, organizations should definitely have a look at having some form of endpoint protection and some form of perimeter defense. So at the end of the day, the cost all depends on how securely and how well organizations want to protect themselves. But it's not something that's going to break the bank at the end of the day. So it's definitely affordable solutions. And if we have a look at the amount and the cost of the data that you're protecting, you know, I think it's more a question of how much is your data worth to you at the end of the day.
Your expectations, Riaan, as to what we might see next year?
I think next year is probably going to be very much a carryover of what we've had this year, with a strong focus on enterprise mobility. The workforce is becoming more mobile, so it's becoming a lot more difficult for organizations to define the perimeter of their network, which obviously brings new demands on the security administrators of organizations to ensure that they completely protect those environments. So from that perspective, I really believe that we will see you know, the increase on or in malware out there definitely increasing as it has over the past 12 months, with a definite push towards attacks on mobile devices, mobile environments out there.
So that's where we'd need to beef up security.
Definitely, definitely.
Well, thank you, Riaan.